Hi, Jennifer Bardot, and we are here to talk about grit. And what does grit stand for? Growth, resilience, intention, and tenacity. And I am excited to introduce a contributing author in intention, Danielle. So Danielle, who are you?
Well, thank you for having me. We're excited to be here. So Danielle, I am a mother of 3 children. I'm a wife. I'm a dog mom. I am an account executive. Yeah.
So you're busy.
Busy. Yeah.
So tell me more about your work.
So I'm an account executive with Woodard Cleaning and Restoration. I work with commercial facilities to provide the resources that we have for water mitigation, mold remediation, fire cleanup, repairs, and cleaning as far as like floor, carpet, hard surface cleaning. So I try to partner with facilities to be their go-to person when emergency strikes and foster relationships, and also help them prepare in advance so they know exactly what to do when that happens.
Awesome. And it just sounds like it's very essential. Yeah, you have to be a really good partner. So can you tell us a little bit more about your chapter in intention?
Yes. So the title of my chapter in intention is My Superhero Mindset. And basically what it's about are different obstacles and challenges I faced throughout my life and how I used intention to overcome those obstacles and use them as strengths rather than weaknesses. So my childhood was a little crazy sometimes. I went to 14 different schools between the ages of 5 and 13. Being the new kid a lot, I was bullied often. My family, we are domestic violence survivors, and we would have to sometimes seek refuge in DV shelters. And I just lacked a lot of self-confidence. I dropped out of high school. I dropped out of college several times. But through all of those things, I realized that the biggest obstacle I had to overcome was myself. The only person that I was hurting with all my anger and hurt and, shame and all of those feelings from those experiences was myself. And the only way to overcome that was to get in more control of my mind. So my trusty sidekicks is where my superhero mindset comes in, are gratitude, mindfulness, and intention. And I just really focus on those things, immerse myself in any material I can get that promotes those feelings and those thoughts. And I do really, truly believe that we are the creators of our own universe. We create our own realities. And through mindfulness, gratitude, and intention, you just set yourself to this higher frequency to bring in all the good around you. And I really like to spread that word to others too. I probably drive my family a little bit crazy because I'm always like, it works. You really be mindful, know what you're feeling, see if you can figure out a way to spin that to make that, more positive. And what are you grateful for? And, grateful thoughts lead to a great day.
Yeah. Well, I love your mindset, and all I can hear is strength. Through all that you've endured in your journey and how you flipped it, and you're very intentional about making sure that you're constantly pouring into yourself and leading from a purpose of gratitude. So it's really inspiring. So for someone that is going through a struggle, what are some encouraging words that you could provide to them to start learning how to have gratitude or how to lead with intention as you've practiced and continue to pour into yourself?
Yes. So one of the things I've learned, especially through writing this chapter, is a lot of the obstacles and challenges that I faced, instead of harboring feelings of anger, hurt, resentment, shame, I started practicing gratitude towards those, being thankful for those experiences I went through, because if I didn't go through those experiences, I wouldn't have learned, I wouldn't have grown, I wouldn't have been able to see how strong I actually am. And had I have kept holding on, all I was doing was holding myself back. So when you go through obstacles, you go through challenges, it's very easy to be, why me? Why did this happen to me? Why did God, the universe but if you are like, you know what? Life is a journey, and any obstacle challenge is an opportunity for growth, no matter what it is. And how can I be thankful for the lesson that taught me?
It's beautiful. And I actually talk about that in growth, because if you hold on to the resentment, you can't be present in the now. So it sounds like you're very present, and I love that intention piece. So with that intention, what are some of the words that you live by? What are some of the mantras and the quotes?
So my favorite quote is, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. That's by Henry Ford. And that is so true. So I am just constantly setting intentions, saying affirmations, believing that I can no matter what, finding those reasons why I can, right? For the things that I went to and the things that I've succeeded at, I focus on those. And I'm like, yeah, I can do this.
Right. You can and you will, and you have.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So you said you learned a little bit about yourself when you were doing this journaling and writing process, participating in intention. What was that like? What did that unfold for you?
So it's interesting. It just kind of showed me some things about myself and the obstacles that I went through that I didn't quite realize were big turning points in my life. So dropping out of high school, that was something that I hung on to as being, I was very ashamed of that. Like I couldn't even get through high school. And then it allowed me, like I would enroll in programs at different colleges and I would fail out of that. And so just writing through, yes, this happened, but this is what I did. I ended up, being a truck driver at one point, which I don't actually talk about in my chapter, but that was a huge turning point for me. I came back and I went to respiratory school and I was like, oh yeah, that was a big turning point. I succeeded and I did well. I became an adjunct instructor when I'm terrified of public speaking. Oh, I did do that. So it was just really kind of eye-opening to me to really focus on, yes, I know all this stuff happened and it wasn't awesome, but look what you've done.
Right.
Look what you've done. And I never really thought about it like that before until I had to sit down and write about it. And so, yeah, it just gave me this, you're kind of strong. Like, yeah, this intention stuff really works for you. And how do you keep moving forward? And yeah,
I love that you were able to reflect on your journey and then be able to identify all the strength, like you said, from your lessons, from your hardships, and then continue to be even more inspired and inspiring. So what is some of the messaging that you think the readers are going to gain from your chapter?
I really hope that it kind of sheds some light on, or just another person's experience with being intentional in your thoughts, with being intentional in the words that you say. Again, intention, mindfulness, and gratitude are so important for mental health, your spiritual health, your life, to present your best self to everyone around you and spreading that message, and humor. So those are my 3 trusty sidekicks, but humor, to find the humor in things can give you a whole new perspective on a situation. Whether that's, oh, I made this mistake, or, oh, I failed at this, if you can find humor in it, or, oh, this was so terrible, but ha ha ha, it just kind of makes it not so heavy.
Yeah, it lightens it. And I love that. So the 3 pillars that I talk about intention are focus and habits. And obviously, I can hear the habit of your intention that you pour into yourself every day with the positive mindset, flipping the script, and the self-talk. And I think I think it's a great blueprint for those that are struggling with learning how to live with intention. And I think they're going to gain so much from reading your chapter to learn how to then, implement that in their own life and have those same habits. So that's encouraging. So being a part of this GRIT community, what has that been like for you to be a part of this collective, compiling of 40 contributing authors? And what's that like?
It is phenomenal. So just finding out about this group and just being around all of these incredible women. One of the things that I like to talk about, or I did like to talk about in general, but that I did mention in the chapter also, is that you have to surround yourself with like-minded people, with people who have the same energy to keep your energy up. And so just being with all of these supportive, empowering, these stories of everyone goes through something. Everyone has some kind of obstacle. That's life. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. And just to know that there's more people out there like that, and how they use grit, growth, resilience, intention, tenacity to live their life, and they really do, and they support each other and empower each other. And everyone that I've interacted with in this group is absolutely amazing and incredible. And the energy just at the expo, the energy in the whole place with all of those great women was phenomenal.
It sounds like, when you see yourself in someone else's story, it's easier to relate and there's more alignment and you feel less alone. And I love that that's kind of been the same effect for you, being a part of this community and vibing off the energy and the women in this collaboration, this experience. So is there any final thoughts that you would like to share about the work that you're doing, or anything at all that you would like to share?
Just one last thing. So I almost didn't do this chapter because it was super intimidating. And I was like, who am I? Like, who wants to hear what I have to say? Who, whatever. But just really, getting out of your comfort zone and challenging yourself and doing stuff even when that little voice creeps in that's like, oh, you can't do this. Nobody wants to hear what you say. Are you crazy? No. Yeah. Then that's a good sign you're on the right path.
Exactly. Yes. And I love the fact that even though you practice intention and gratitude, you still have that self-doubt, but you push yourself through it, and now you're participating. So thank you so much for being here today. I loved everything that you had to share, and I'm excited to have your chapter being published this July in Intention.
Thank you for everything. Thank you for having me here.